Underage drinking is a serious public health problem in the United States. The West Springfield Care Coalition is sponsoring a town hall meeting on October 23rd to discuss the dangers of underage drinking and share information on how to help prevent it. Connecting Point's Ray Herschel sat down with a West Springfield mother who lost her son to a drunk driver and the West Springfield Public School superintendent to learn more.
It's just one of so many, Ray, that we as educators in West Springfield and across the region, across the country and internationally really are facing. Students have so much access to drugs, alcohol, and they're accessing it earlier and earlier. So as an educator, we've spent a considerable amount of time addressing alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, and trying to educate students to make sure that they understand the implications of using and abusing. And so as alcohol goes, we continue to target it. I would, without being able to put my finger on how many students are accessing or what the percentage is, I would venture it's a large number. So for us, prevention is key. And this town hall event is really designed to encourage families to understand the implications of what they do, how they behave, how they model their actions, and what their students are seeing from them.
And when we look at that town meeting, this is a community-wide event. It's open to the public. It's free, obviously, and can you tell us a little bit about the format? I know you'll have a panel of experts there, and it's really there for the parents who have questions to ask, who are concerned about a teen who may be drinking. So how will all that come together?
Wednesday, October 23rd, the event will be held at West Springfield High School. It's 425 Piper Road. It is open to the public, and all are encouraged to attend. We do make these events very community oriented. So we're going to have the Lions Club providing a dinner in advance that is complimentary, and we will have panels, expert panel available to answer questions, and the community is encouraged to submit those questions in advance should they choose, so that we can help guide our discussion and the information that we'll be sharing out. So people can certainly go to the website and search the Care Coalition on the West Springfield Public Schools website, where they'll find some more information about that event, the timing of the event, and those people who will be participating.
Okay. And Anne-Marie, no one knows any more than you the tragedy and the devastation that a drunk driver can cause. You lost your son to a drunk driver back in 2011. Can you
2011, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that incident and how it's impacted your life?
It's been devastating to our entire family. David was a wonderful human being. He was standing on a driveway waiting to cross the street when a drunk driver hit him, threw him into the road, and the next day he died. He was just 29 years old. He was getting ready to ask his girlfriend to get married, and so our daughter was just getting married, and everything was turned upside down. The fact that he is gone still is hard for me to comprehend. But I try and spend a lot of time helping people understand that drinking is a learned behavior, and many times from their parents.
And where have you found the strength to move on in this way? I know you're a member of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. You speak at different events, public events. Where did you find that strength to do this, and how is this helping the community?
I had to do something to get myself moving again because I was paralyzed. I really couldn't function. And so I had to make sense of the fact that people who did things that didn't kill anyone got higher sentences than the person who killed my son. And so I have been an advocate for stronger sentencing and an awareness. Many people are not aware of what it does to your family.
Mm-hmm. And Superintendent Richard, you touched on this, that underage drinking is certainly not a problem exclusive to any one community, any one region. It is a problem that we face across the United States. And I was reading some statistics where just under 5,000 young people die from underage drinking, and it can be the result of drunk driving, murders, alcohol poisoning, suicides, and the list goes on. So it is a problem of tremendous magnitude for our young people.
For sure, and the behaviors that come out of that certainly don't stop that day or that night. And you can see recently, for instance, a college student in Boston who was involved in a fight that you have to imagine was alcohol induced, and he ends up dead as a result of that. So it is encouraged. We need to encourage students and families to be responsible in what they do, how much they consume, when they consume, where they consume, and in front of whom they're consuming. And our children are so impressionable, and they're not seeing these things just at home, but they're accessing this information digitally. They're seeing it on television. They're watching their peers do it. We need to be cognizant of everything that we do so that we are modeling appropriate behaviors for those kids.
And Anne-Marie, when you speak to these community groups, when you're out in the public, what's the message you'd like to deliver to the community about this important issue?
Well, the message that I try and deliver is think before you get into a car. If you know you're going to be out drinking, make plans. The person who actually killed my son was the designated driver, and he was drunk. And so if you say you're going to be a designated driver, then you don't drink. And in the day of Uber and Lyft, there really isn't a reason to drive drunk. But you just have to make a plan. Lots of people don't make plans prior to going out and drinking. And most of the things that we do these days when we celebrate are around drinking. And sometimes you just have to think a little bit more before you celebrate.
I know you are both parents, obviously, and parents may be asking, I think maybe when my teen goes to a party, he or she may be drinking. How do I confront this issue? How do I speak to them? What do I say to them? What's the advice you would have as a parent to try to nip this in the bud before it gets out of hand?
I think that communication is key, and there's no right answer to that question, right? I think it's about making sure that you can communicate and build a trusting relationship with your child, so that they know that they can be open and honest with you about what they're doing, why they're doing it, and that you can also provide them with some honest feedback about what you're seeing from their behaviors and what those implications are. You need to tell them that it's safe for them to tell you what they've done, and that you're still going to love them, and you're going to care for them, and you're going to encourage them and steer them in the right direction.